Hello and welcome to Kiska Brand Bajega. Today on our show, we have an international diva, somebody who has cruised herself into the industry. With her hard work and poised grace, she has hijacked the hearts of millions of fans. Please join me in welcoming actress, supermodel, and a gem of a human being, and jack of all hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, Jacqueline Fernandez.
Hello. How are you?
Great. Please have a seat.
Thank you. Oh, wow. This is amazing.
Jacqueline, welcome on Kiska Brand Bajega.
Thank you.
Such a pleasure to host you.
I've been dying to be on this show.
We've been dying to get you here.
Great.
Okay, so let's start right away. Born in Bahrain,
Yes.
Studied mass communications in Sydney.
Yes.
Right? Lived in Sri Lanka, Miss Sri Lanka Universe.
Yep.
Right? So the global exposure that you have and a degree in communication, does that give you an edge in Bollywood?
Well, it's two very different career paths for sure. But I just say that the exposure that I got in college, it definitely prepped me for what was to come.
Sure.
You just meet so many different kinds of people. You start understanding so many different types of values. And I think that discipline really helps you now, whatever walk of life you go into, be it Bollywood. First of all, I don't think anything can prepare you for Bollywood.
Okay. Was that such a big difference when you actually decided
It's
to
huge. It's huge. Yeah. Because I grew up in Bahrain.
Sure.
So I come from a very middle class Sri Lankan family, growing up in Bahrain. And in Bahrain also, there's no type of extracurricular activities that you could take in terms of theater, acting, performance, nothing. Like even in my school, I went to a convent school. We didn't even have that as an extracurricular. We had either you could do art or music.
Right.
And that was the only other thing. But you had to stick to your studies. So when I came to Bollywood, I had no idea what a producer was, what a director was. I just knew, okay, there were movies and then there was actors. I didn't know this world. I was not a filmy kid. I didn't know about agencies. I didn't know how anything worked. So because of that, nothing prepared me. Nothing could prepare me for that. Even if I went, I think, to whatever, acting school, whatever, I don't think I would have been as prepared to know what I was heading into when I came into Bollywood. I think it's like an industry unlike any other. It's pretty crazy.
But you're rocking and you're doing so well for yourself and we're so happy.
Thank you.
When we study your filmography, a large part of it belongs to sequels. You featured in Murder 2, followed by Houseful 2 and 3, Race. And also you've done a remake of Judwa recently. Is this a calculated strategy since the chances of a remake working at the box office is high as they come with an existing equity?
They do. I mean, like, I was lucky because I was able to grow with certain sequels. Like Houseful, I've been part of Houseful since the first time, since part 1, where I did an item song. And then that was put in part 2, and I was put in part 3, and I wasn't put in part 4, no, I'm joking. No, but then with Race as well, I was able to grow with certain franchises. Judwa was kind of daunting because
Why was it daunting?
See, it's a double-edged sword. So you could say, oh my God, Judwa, obviously everyone's going to anticipate a remake of Judwa, right?
Sure.
And at the same time, you have people going like, wait a minute, you're not going to match up to the original. And I'm actually that type of a person as well, where I'm like, no, don't touch the original. The original is like super cool and you can't match up to it. But at the same time, it's quite a task to take on. Like I know Varun was super stressed about it because it's big shoes to fill. And even for me, like Karishma was so loved in Judwa, the original.
Sure.
So it was like very daunting, but I just remember like trying my best not to think about it and just trying to look at the positives and being like, you know what, we're going to be part of a film that really was like epic, cult, part of history, you know, like, so let's just go with it. Let's just have fun and go with it. And it was a lot of fun.
So you're doing Houseful 5?
I don't know. They were so mean, they didn't put me in 4. I better fight for 5 now. Yeah.
Okay. Talking about your image, we actually tested out the perception that the consumers have of brand Jacqueline Fernandez through some fun questions. We will ask you those questions first and have you tried to second guess them and see if you've been successful in translating that image successfully in their head as well. This is the first one. It's a very interesting one. What would be the title of Jacqueline Fernandez biopic?
Well, I thought of 2. Can you believe it? I already thought of these, by the way.
Oh, great.
So one is Happy.
Happy.
Okay. The second one was actually, I was thinking, all she ever wanted was everything.
Beautiful, and they're brilliant. Let's have a look at what the consumers have
said. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this.
I think gentlewoman.
Dazzling diva.
Bold and beautiful, you can say.
I think Killing Them Softly.
Bold and Sassy from Sri Lanka.
Barbie doll persona. She's like very bubbly and cute.
Laughter Queen because her smile is really good and she's very bubbly.
Bubbly. I get that a lot.
You get a lot of bubbly?
I get a lot of bubbly.
But that's okay. These are adjectives of happy. These are extensions of happy. So that's great. Okay, the next one, which is the most iconic dance number of Jacqueline Fernandez that you remember. So what do you think they would have said?
Iconic? I
Yeah.
would say Chittiya Kalaya.
Chittiya Kalaya, okay? Let's have a look.
On the top of my head, I would say Jumme Ki Raat because her chemistry was really amazing with Salman Khan.
Beat pe booty. Chittiya Kalaya. I'd say she looked sexy in Lat Lag Gaye.
Chittiya Kalaya.
I think Saw Tarake because her dance moves were killer. Lat Lag Gaye because her expression in that is really good.
Chittiya Kalaya, the funny thing was, we had a day and a half to shoot it.
Sure.
Usually songs take 4 or 5 days to
Yeah.
shoot. I remember I arrived from Canada, like literally that night.
Wow.
And then we got on set, and I remember I was feeling so puffy. And I was like, oh, it's terrible. And then we had these 2 outfits. I had no trials. So I got on set, and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure about this outfit. I was being like super, like diva-ish about it. I'm not sure, Amit. Should we go with this outfit? It's so boring. I'm not sure. Then on the 3rd outfit, we didn't have anything because he said, no, I need another change. I need another change when you're rapping with the Meat Brothers. And no change. And so we looked at the dancers around us and I was like, okay, let's take that girl's cap. And I was like, I came in some tracks today, na? Let's wear those tracks. And then we found some other girl with a pink top. It's like, let's take her pink top. And we did that sequence.
Did they credit you as a stylist?
No, it was just, like I said, it's teamwork. All of this stuff is just about teamwork. And then I remember Vicky showed me the first cut of Chittiya Kalaya. I said, it's horrendous. I said, no, don't release the song, don't release the song. I was like, no, it's so bad. And he said, no, it's cute, Jackie. It's really, really nice. And then it ended up being like...
Which app does Jacqueline Fernandez use the most?
Instagram.
Instagram? Okay, let's find out.
I guess Snapchat because she's more active there.
TikTok.
I think YouTube because she vlogs a lot and her birthday vlog was really good.
YouTube.
Can say travel apps because I have seen her Instagram stories and all where she travels a lot.
I think she just joined TikTok, so her content is very entertaining.
Instagram or something, yeah.
Snapchat because she's very active there. Google Translator as she translates her Hindi dialogues.
That's a good one, actually. Let me put that in there.
Have you used the Google Translator?
No, not really.
Not
I
really.
think like once when I was in like Europe or something. But for my Hindi scripts, imagine. Wait, director sahab, 1 second. Google Translate.
Kareena Kapoor once quoted that she likes doing dance numbers as they give her an opportunity to cash in during award ceremonies. You've appeared in numerous dance numbers like the iconic Dhanno in Houseful, Ramaya Vastavaya, Saho, and even Bagi 3 where you recreated Ek Do Teen. Jacqueline, what are the reasons you've consistently done special songs? Do you endorse to Kareena's views?
Well, I think like also it's the entire experience. Like when you get called for a song, you're like, okay, let me hear the song. And I know I'm a sucker for work.
Okay.
I'll get a call and I'll be like, I know I shouldn't and I should maybe be, because a lot of people have been telling me, no, well, advice from the industry, you should pick and choose, you be very choosy, you should do this, you should do that. But when I get called for work, I'll be like, okay, sir, what is the song? And I hear the song, and immediately when I hear the song, I start dreaming about all these things I can create in the song. Okay, we should do these with the costumes, we should try this with the dance steps, oh my God, we should do this, we should do that. So it comes from a very artistic point of view and a very creative point of view, which I love because this is what I live for,
Okay.
And at the same time, I think like I find it difficult to say no to these things that I specifically enjoy.
But there is a payoff, which is performances and award shows. Huge payoff.
Huge payoff. And we mainly go, especially if you are someone who can dance, who is into dancing, who can do stage shows.
Sure.
Stage shows for me as well, like the reason I got into them aggressively from the beginning was because they were giving me a lot of confidence. Because I used to get a lot of like stage anxiety, performance anxiety.
Wow.
A lot. Like before I'd go on stage, I'd nearly faint, I think. And like now, I've understood the discipline of it. You've got to practice and train really hard so that when you get on stage, it's like you're literally on a high.
You're a queen of multiple platforms. From featuring on a TV show at Bahrain at the age of 14, to working as a television reporter in Sri Lanka before winning the crown, to judging Jhalak Dikhla on Indian television, to the recent venture into OTT with the movie Drive on Netflix. You also will be seen in a Netflix original thriller, Mrs. Serial Killer. Bollywood actors Jacqueline often refrain from appearing strongly on other platforms as it might dilute their equity as a big screen star. Is it a calculated risk on your part or is it a safe gamble?
I mean, when I had the opportunity to, let's say, do Jhalak,
Right.
I was really, because I have an audience who watch also television. I have an audience, I have fans, I have people, and there are a lot of people who watch television, you know?
Right.
So, and I wanted to also experience, I think like for me as an actor, it's all about my experiences. Jhalak also, it was my first venture into TV.
Right.
I said, yeah, this is really interesting. This is something I think I should just be like trying my hand out. And I have the time, I have this opportunity. And then even when it came to like Mrs. Serial Killer, the film first came to me and I said, yeah, let me hear it out. I'm a huge avid Netflix, fan myself. Like I'm continuously like hooked on to that platform. I think also like where I come from is how can I scale? How can I grow? Like where do I not limit myself?
Sure.
I think Netflix was one of those opportunities for me as well, where I was like, I would love to be seen on a Netflix platform. Before, when there wasn't OTT,
Sure.
I used to think like, oh, I would love to have the Dharma production banner. You know, when my film opens, I want to see that banner. So I would like start visualizing stuff like that. I would love to see Nadia Adwal. I would love to see this. I would love to see that. So now we have much more. Now it's like, when I see Netflix, I think to myself, wow, let me see, imagine if I'm on a Netflix banner, how cool would that be?
Let's talk about social media, right? And
Yes.
you're the queen of social media, right? You've got your cumulative reach is 76 million with 37 million followers on Instagram, right? Your fan following is more than the population of United Kingdom.
Wow.
Now, with such huge numbers across all platforms, is there pressure, Jacqueline? Do you think twice before posting anything?
So it's both ways actually for me. There was a
Right.
time when I first started Instagram and I was like, I was just putting up anything, everything. And it was genuinely actually for the love of this plant and, like, oh, this is a pretty picture and, oh, let me put this and had a great day with my friends. And then over the years, Instagram did start becoming more of a, self-promotion, brand promotions, film promotions, people want, shout outs, products need shout outs. Everything started just becoming about promoting. We were losing, I think, the original sense of the love of pictures and your life and who you really are. And I think that's actually what helped me when I first started Instagram, is that people actually were getting a glimpse into what, my life was really like. And that really helped me connect with a lot of fans. So now it's not that I don't think twice, but of course I have to, because the more followers you have, it's sometimes scary because you don't know who you might be offending.
Right. Talking about social media, Jacqueline, we came across a lot of interesting comments while researching your pages. We shall get you to react to them firsthand in our segment, Internet Ask Jacqueline Fernandez. So let's see what they are asking.
Who's the biggest? Oh, yoga ambassador after Narendra Modi, Ramdev Baba or Asli Jacqueline?
Right. Yeah. So
who's a better one?
Yeah.
Who's a bigger yoga ambassador? I don't think I can beat Ramdev Baba. I mean,
You can't beat Ramdev Baba.
no, I can't. I'm sorry.
Let's have a look at the next one.
Looking at the number of TikTok videos you made, you should be made the brand ambassador of TikTok.
What's the rationale for coming on TikTok?
So I'll tell you the funny thing about
Yeah,
TikTok.
yeah.
Okay, so TikTok actually came to me as a brand
Sure.
when it was called Musically, and they said, would you endorse Musically for us?
Okay.
So I said, yeah, of course I'll endorse Musically, and it was a proper brand deal. And a year went by, and 4 videos were what I had to post for them, and I did those 4 videos, but I was never on Musically.
Okay.
Never. Okay. And I just thought, Tika, I'm doing this as a brand thing, and it's cool. I just make a couple of videos and I post it up, and a lot of people are now endorsing apps and stuff. And all of a sudden, they changed to TikTok, and they became like really big. And then I found myself not being the brand ambassador anymore, but posting way more than I ever did for that app. And now it's like I really enjoy doing TikTok. And I feel like TikTok still is very raw.
Right.
You know, you go, you make the funny faces, you try the challenges, you're completely yourself, you know? And so that's why I'm having a lot of fun actually on TikTok. And yeah, and I think it's gonna be, well, it is already huge, but if you're not on TikTok and if you are looking at at being, you know, building your brand, then it's super advisable to be on TikTok now.
Okay, that's a great advice from the expert. Yeah, the next one.
There's Amanda Cerny and Jacqueline Fernandez, the cast for Judua 3. So the weird thing about this was, I never thought, first of all, me and Amanda looked alike. You know, so I'll tell you how I met Amanda.
Yeah.
I followed her because of her comedy and her humor, and I really thought that this girl was a really funny girl, and I really liked what, you know, the stuff that she was making. And I was making a trip to LA, and I Insta-messaged her. And I said, hey, I'm Jacqueline Fernandez, and I'm coming to LA, and I know that you stay there, and would you like to meet?
Sure.
And she messaged me back immediately, and she said, oh yeah, sure, I'll come meet you. So I said, okay, cool, let's meet. And I came there, and I was on a personal trip, right? So I came there, I was waiting in the lobby for Amanda Cerny, and I was like, you know, she's probably gonna enter and have like tons of cameras around her. And I was like thinking, American influencer, like, you know, she's on YouTube and she's got these crazy followers. She's so funny. And like cameras will probably be surrounding her all the time, you know, and entourage and all that stuff. So I'm waiting for her, and I was actually, then I was looking at my dress, I was like, oh my God, I'm not even wearing anything nice. I haven't put makeup on. I was like, oh shit, if she comes with cameras, I'm so screwed. And she walked in alone, same, like literally she could have been in her pajamas, okay? She had a cap on, you know, she had no makeup, she was in like her tracks, and she's like, hey, what's up, Jackie? And I was like, oh my God, Amanda. And then we sat in that lobby and we chatted for like 3 hours, and then we just spoke about like what we should do, how can we collaborate, what does she like about India, when is she coming to India? I said, listen, before we go, should we do a photo shoot?
Okay.
So she said, okay, fine, cool. And then when I posted these pictures, that's when people were like, whoa, you guys really look alike.
Being a supermodel and an actor, it certainly gives you an edge with endorsement deals. You've practically endorsed every category that's there to endorse. How involved are you in the decision of endorsing a particular product category or a brand?
So a lot of the times, honestly, I have never personally, physically gone and pitched myself for an endorsement. Like I would tell my agency, you know, I really want to do toothpaste. And then, I mean, they would probably put it out there and, you know, do a couple of things. I know that there are certain like actors who take it a notch further and they go in, they barge into the offices of the brands and they say, hey, I'm your next brand ambassador.
Do they?
The biggest of the biggest. There are two types of people. You could either be the subtle one and say, okay, my agency is going to be doing this. Or you can say, I don't trust you guys. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get this myself. And it's, you know, if you want something badly enough, you go out in there, you get it. You know, you don't rely on other people. Not in our industry, at least, you know. And so there are some really huge brand endorsers, huge actors, I mean actresses who they walk in there, they demand, you know, like a meeting or whatever, and they say, and they pitch it themselves. So you can do that. There are a lot of people who strategize their lifestyles, or they strategize their social media pages, or themselves to say, I'm the best person for this job. And then there's a lot of the times you genuinely have authentic brands that come your way and say, okay, I want to sign so-and-so to endorse my my paint, you know? So for me, I have taken the more conventional route of my agency doing the pitching. We will have discussions where it's like, there will be a dream list board. If it comes, it comes. If you lose the pitch, you lose the pitch. But what has been important for me is whatever's come in, there are certain brands maybe I never thought of, you know, before. When they come in, you kind of like say to yourself, okay, is this a brand I see myself using? If I see myself using it, okay, cool. And then we try out this product. When I try out the product, if I like it, okay, cool. Let's start talking. Like that's the most important thing for me. Because see, the thing is like now no brand is going to come to you if you're not going to post about them and you're not going to give them digital awareness and visibility and stuff like that. And not when you have millions of followers. Otherwise, there's just no point.
On the lines of your celebrity counterparts, like Virat Kohli and Hrithik Roshan, you too have launched your own female-only fitness and fashion brand, Just F. What tempted you, Jacqueline, to do this, and how involved are you on the same? Also, like Deepika, who has decided to acquire stake in brands, are you open to doing endorsement deals in the lieu of equity?
So I already have an equity deal with Raw
Sure.
Pressery.
Raw
It's
Pressery,
a
yes.
juicery. It's cold pressed juices. That was my first venture.
Yep.
I was in Miami,
Yep.
and I was sitting with Sean. I was sitting with my sister who was visiting from from North Carolina. My mom was there, her nephew was there, and we're like, oh, let's just make a video. And this was Instagram days, okay? So it's like you shoot, you stop, like next cut. So we decided, okay, we'll make a video where we'll do a special effects video, okay, with no actual CG or whatever, where I throw the bottle, okay, and it lands on your head.
Yeah.
I throw 2 bottles and it lands perfectly on the television. I throw 3 bottles, it lands like on my mom's book. Okay, so what we were actually doing is Sean would capture me throwing it and he'd go, whoa! And actually I would throw it somewhere else, but it would already be placed, okay?
Yeah.
So we did this video to celebrate my, I think 6 million or 7 million or something. And the video became kind of viral. And then when Raw Pressery saw it, they said, oh, that should have been one of our ads.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so then they contacted me and say, listen, we should work with Jackie, and it's quite creative, and those should have been, raw press-free bottles and stuff like that. And that led to us just collaborating and then realizing that we have the same understanding towards fitness. And when I met Anuj as well, who's the owner, he is so into his brand and passionate about just spreading fitness and health awareness around India, and through his cold pressed juices. And I said, oh my God, even I feel like this. I want to do this. I want to do that. And that's when he invited me to become partner and equity shareholder. And that was my first venture ever.
You've used the power of social media and supported causes right from voicing your opinion on animal cruelty to helping raise funds for rebuilding Kerala. Your co-star Salman has carved out a successful brand Being Human. Do you plan to have your own NGO in the future?
Absolutely. I think it's funny, but whenever brands come to me, whoever comes to me, Dabur Honey, Casio, Tresemme, I'm just like, okay, so, what is our CSR plan? What are we doing? Is there something that we can create apart from, the ad that we're shooting and stuff? Is there something we can do? And I was like, it's not even necessarily that we speak about it, but what are you guys doing? I want to know. It's interesting to see that, or for me to just be part of certain activities through you guys and to learn through you guys and to see what are the important issues. It's really important to just help people.
Sure.
We are obviously much more fortunate.
Absolutely.
And wherever you can help, it's important that you do. And see, a lot of the times people might take that for granted, people might take advantage, but I think if you learn that art of giving, you keep that part of you clean and good. There's nothing else that I think can actually compare to that.
Right.
But I want to be able to be in a position where if someone comes to me for help, I'll always be in that position to help you. It's like Salman Khan, actually.
Keeping the tradition alive, we've invited some fashion school students as our studio audience. We call them the Brand Wallahs. They have a couple of really interesting questions to ask. So can we begin?
Hi Jacqueline, this is Megha, and my question is that we have seen a lot of celebrities coming together for advertisements, be it Varun and Alia or Janhvi Kapoor with Vicky Kaushal. We saw you with Kartik Aaryan in Magic Moments, and you worked with Hrithik Roshan for RMD boards. So it's like the entire industry is coming together for mutual endorsements. So are you planning to build on that strategy?
I think it's fun. I think it's nice when a brand can bring, me and Karthik have done both Magic Moments and boat speakers together. And I think I did Salman's Being Human jewelry for him. It's cool. I think it's nice to kind of bring 2 personalities together that the brand feels that goes with the brand. And I'm always up for doing those. I think it's great. I feel like we should bring more girls together, though.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Can we have the next girl on that note?
So hi Jacqueline, this is Kamakshi.
Hi.
I have this one question that we all are very aware that you are a multilingual actor. You are well versed with not with one language but more than 8 languages. So my question is was your planned move to amplify the board of equity through various cultures, or was this just the love for your languages?
So I have been exposed to many languages growing up, okay? I grew up in the Middle East, so I was exposed to Arabic. And I took a little course in Arabic as well. I learned French for 13 years in school. My mother's a Malaysian, so she's a Malay, so she speaks Malay, Thai, Cantonese, Chinese. My dad's a Sri Lankan, so he speaks Tamil, Sinhalese, Hindi, Malayalam. And when I came here, I started learning Hindi. So as much as and I took a course in Spanish, I do love languages. I love languages. I think also because I've traveled so much and I've just been open to like picking up people's cultures and languages. It's not that I speak them fluently, but I've been exposed and I've picked up a lot of it on my journey. There was no ulterior motive, like I'll learn this language and I'll get that brand. You know, there wasn't that.
We have the last one, please.
Hi Jacqueline, this is Pravlika. So I've read that since childhood you have been dreaming about becoming a Hollywood actress, but Bollywood came your way. So do you have any plans of venturing into Hollywood, or how do you want to go with it, if yes?
So Hollywood, I grew up on Hollywood films. I grew up on that was all we knew. We had like this one television set and they would just play like Hollywood movies for us. And once a week though, they would play a Bollywood movie. And it was like at 8 p.m. on Wednesday nights, every night. And we just had like this one channel, like the national television. And I remember then there came a time that, I don't know, you guys did not know this. You guys are college kids. Do you remember Laserdiscs?
Yeah.
Okay, so there was this thing before like CDs and DVDs and everything came out, there was like Laserdiscs. They were like huge. And my dad started collecting Laserdiscs. So all of a sudden we were then exposed to even more Hollywood films, and I would consume them so much. We didn't have the internet much over there then either, so we couldn't Google things. My world was only that, just like sitting and watching films and putting on a Laserdisc and watching Jumanji and Titanic and films of the 90s. And so my aspiration to become an actress came from only watching these films and watching these beautiful characters and everything that was going on in these stories. And I think like the 90s had some really crazy cinema. Like we had Titanic, we had like stuff like Armageddon, like the end of the world, and we had, I'm sorry, you guys have no idea what I'm talking about.
I'm sure they know Titanic. Everyone knows Titanic.
That was the world I grew up in, and that's all I wanted to be. I wanted to be an actress in those films. But just to be able to grow and, but yeah, Hollywood would be, I think, an amazing accomplishment because it's extremely competitive. Yeah, I think it's a crazy industry to get into, but once you're in, I think it's a huge accomplishment.
Jacqueline, it's time for our next segment called Brand Googly. We've got a bowl here, which is product categories, right? And an age group. So you need to actually sell that in a Jacqueline Fernandez style. So are we game?
Whoa.
Let's have a look. Let's take your pick.
Pick yellow because I'm wearing yellow.
Yellow, and yeah. Maps. So let's take maps being sold to millennials.
Ye bhi na jaane, wo bhi na jaane, route kya hai? Maps hi jaane. Mila jo sang tera, faster hai route mera. Chalu mein ho ke malang.
That was interesting. That was quite a sport. That was quite a sport.
There we go.
That was quite a sport. Okay,
guys, I'm really bad at this right now. You have no idea. I don't even know what I said in the last line.
The second one.
Okay. I think I'm getting good at this.
Right.
Book a ride.
Okay, so let's take the post-millennials. Let's say age group of 25 to 35.
Okay. Post-millennials?
Yeah. I just coined it.
I thought they were still millennials. Oh, that's so mean. Then what makes sense? Okay. Matlabi, ho ja zara matlabi, duniya ki sunta hai kyun, book kar le ride kabhi.
Jacqueline's creative as well. Great, man. Jacqueline, I absolutely had a great time discussing your brand journey, which was fun and insightful in equal measures. You're truly a combination of grace and vivacity with an upbeat personality and especially a golden heart that inspires millions today. I, along with the entire team at Kiska Brand Bajega, would like to wish you loads of success and happiness and keep us awestruck with your performances. Ladies and gentlemen, Jacqueline Fernandez. Kiska Brand Bajega gives you a chance to visit our studios and interact with India's biggest celebrity brands live by answering a simple question. What is the name of the activewear brand owned by Jacqueline Fernandez? A. Reason. B. Wrong. C. Just F. D. 7. Send your answers to us by commenting on our Instagram post and following our page at Kiska_Brand_Bajega. For you back home, we will be back with more brands, insight, and entertainment on the biggest marketing show on television, Kiska Brand Bajega. See you next week. This is Aditya Bhatt signing off. Happy branding. Today on the show, we have someone who single-handedly demolished bowling attacks across the world. And that's why he's rightly called the Hitman. So please welcome the one and only Rohit Sharma.
In this game, somebody dropped a catch when I was at 4. And then I got 260 runs more. He met me at the breakfast tomorrow and he said, I will not be able to land in Sri Lanka, sir. What did you do?